Hi, I'm Marcus Nilsson. I'm the executive producer for Need for Speed, and we're here to talk about Need for Speed at Gamescom in Germany.
So what's new when it comes to this franchise here at Gamescom?
I guess what we really focus on talking about now is that how we combine kind of the customization and the narrative, how we now disclose the kind of 5 different icons that we have in the game, the real automotive icons that we have in the game. So the way that we treat the cutscenes, because of our real-time compositing, we can put game graphics into scenes and make it look real. We film our scenes in real life and characters move around the car that you customized. So now what feels great here is that we can talk about the kind of more complete vision of what we wanted to do with that feature.
So talk about the 5 icons.
So the 5 different icons are basically giving you different inroads into car culture. Everything from speed to style. Speed, going fast. Style, kind of going kind of irresponsibly, drifting around corners. Build, focused on building. Outlaw, kind of messing around with the cops. And then crew, driving together with other people and having fun together. So those 5 ways into car culture is something that we can see when we go into that interesting world of car culture, the different interests, different insights, and we wanted to replicate that in the game.
So behind you, we're seeing the actual 5 guys. Can you talk a little bit about them and what they bring to the table?
Yeah, the selection process for this was pretty, thorough. Obviously, we have Magnus Walker, and a very iconic British guy that lives in LA and lives and breathes Porsches. He has a selection of Porsches, but the great thing with this guy is that he doesn't collect them as in collect them. He drives them. He's all about driving fast. Going out there, pedal to the metal is one of his expressions, and he lives that. Build icon Nakai-san, is one of the greatest builders out there. In Japan, I've been to his workshop studio. It's absolutely epic to be in there, and he travels the world and builds cars for people. Risky Devils is a drift crew from Chicago, kind of driving around, having fun, putting stuff up on Vimeo and YouTube, kind of living that driving together dream. And then you have Ken Block, obviously, the guy that can dance around in cars and do what most people can't even think about in cars. And lastly, we do have Morohoshi-san. Morohoshi-san is another Japanese guy that's built his reputation of kind of being I do whatever I want at a given time. So he's the outlaw icon in the game.
In addition to doing the actual cutscenes and filming with them, how did you work with them in the actual gameplay that people are experiencing?
So it actually varies from person to person. We obviously, when we found these guys and we spoke to them, and they tell us about, this is what I do in my car, and I'm like, oh, that could be something. So we find innovation from talking to those guys and what you can do, like what are the routes that you should take, what are you thinking about when you're driving, where do you usually meet cops in the world. Those stuff is those things that we can find out by just talking to them. But it goes up and down, right? It's we've had very thorough conversations with Magnus Walker and Ken Block about how we set that up, and maybe less so with some other people.
Did you find that any of these guys are gamers themselves?
They are to some degree, but the authenticity they bring is far more from actually being the real thing.
What are their thoughts on what you guys have done when, in terms from a realistic standpoint?
In terms from a realistic standpoint, I don't actually think they could have a stand. We're making an action racer, right? So yes, we're going authentic with car and car building and car parts. It's all aftermarket, but the actual driving experience is an emotional, driving experience. I want people to feel like they can go 150 miles per hour and slide around the corner. I don't want them to think about, oh, maybe I crash, I need to brake here, I need to hit the apex. There are other games that do that, and they do that so well. Need for Speed is about action racing. So, in terms of that, but it's their attitude towards this game, I think, since we announced it, I think has grown and grown and grown, to be honest, because I think at this point in time it's probably a good thing for them to be associated with Need for Speed because of the game we're building.